Hey, what's up guys? So in this video we are going to see what is DVWA and how we can install it on a virtual machine. DVWA stands for Damn Vulnerable Web Application, which is developed in PHP and MySQL, and it is intentionally left vulnerable so that security professionals and ethical hackers can test their skills without compromising anyone's system in a legal way. Now let's see how to set up DVWA on a virtual machine. So here I am going to use Kali operating system on a virtual machine, as it is highly recommended to use DVWA on a virtual machine, otherwise it can make our system get compromised if we use it on our main machine. To download DVWA, we are going to visit its official site. You can just type DVWA, or you can get the link from the description as well. So this is the site of DVWA. Here we can download it from this download button. As it is downloaded now, we can see we got the zip file of DVWA. Now, as we know, DVWA is developed purely in PHP and MySQL, so we need to move this DVWA folder in our PHP server, which will be our Apache server. For that, we are going to open the terminal and type in the command. Firstly, we need to go to the download folder. For that, we will type cd downloads. Here we can see we have our DVWA zip file. Now we are going to unzip it and move it in our Apache server. For that, we will type the command unzip where www.html. This is the path of our Apache server. Here we will give the file name. So here we need to give an argument -g. As we can see, we have unzip it. Now let's check it in the HTML folder. So we will type cd var www.html. As we can see, we got the folder DVWA master. Now we are going to rename it for our convenience. For that, we will type move Now we will rename it as DVWA. As we can see, we have renamed the folder. Now what we are going to do is do some changes in the configuration file so that we can use the MySQL database. For that, we will type cd DVWA, and here we can see a file, or actually a folder, config, and in this folder we have conf.inc.php.dist. So this is the configuration file we need to change. For that, we will use the nano command. As we can see, we have our MySQL database configurations. Here the database name will be DVWA, and the user will be DVWA and the password will be this, as it is the default configuration provided by the DVWA. So either we can just rename it with our MySQL username and password, and it will create the database, or else we can create the new user as DVWA whose password will be this, or maybe whatever we want to give. Like here I will give the password. Let the password be admin. Or let's just say a simple password. Now we are going to save this file. Now to create a new user in MySQL, we can just open the readme file of DVWA, which you can find in where here we can see the folder DVWA, and in this we can find a file readme.md. Now what we are going to do is find Maria. Here we need to find the command. So here is the command to create a new user, that will be DVWA localhost, and the database name will be DVWA. So for that we need to run MySQL service, and before that, as we are going to run this application on localhost, we need an Apache server as well. So for that we will type service Apache start. To check the status, we can type service Apache status. As we can see, it is running. Similarly, we will run the MySQL service MySQL start. Now let's check the status. So we have Apache server and MySQL service up and running. Now we will type these commands in MySQL. So MySQL, here we will type the command create database DVWA. As I have already created this database, so I get an error, cannot create database DVWA, but in your case it will create a new database. Now let's try the user command. The password will be the one we have provided earlier, password. So we have created a new user DVWA. Now let's give it all the permissions. And let's flush out all the privileges. So now we are ready to run our web application, that is DVWA. Now let's try DVWA. For that we will type localhost /DVWA. So here you can see configuration file not found. So what actually happened is we have this file named as configuration config inc php.dist, but we need to have the file named as this, so we need to rename it to run our DVWA application. For that we will type cd where html, and here we can find DVW. In the conf folder we can see we have this file, so to rename it we will write move conf nc php.dist and rename it as config.inc.php. Now this should resolve our issue. Let's try it once again. As you can see we have DVW application up and running. Now the default username and password admin, and password is password. So we can see all the status here. Now we need to create the database. So as we can see, database is successfully created and it will automatically redirect to the login page. Now here we can type the username and password, admin and password. Now as you can see, we have successfully logged into DVWA. Here you can see various tools for practicing your ethical hacking skills, such as brute force, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and many others. Now in this DVWA security, you can change the level of security you want, like low to impossible. Now for the beginners, I will suggest to have a low security. If you learned something new, please do hit the like button, and if you have any query, you can drop it in the comment box, and do subscribe the channel for more such videos. Thank you.